Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to Bariatrics and Beyond, brought to you by Elias Ortiz and Company. We are the podcast that talks about life before, during, and beyond bariatric surgery. So grab yourself a snack and a drink, pull up a seat, because on today's episode, we have the boss lady in the house, Michele Riter. Woo! Hi, Michele. Welcome back. You were the very first podcast guest, and it's been a year. So it's only, it's only fitting that we celebrate with having you back.
Perfect.
And this time, we're going to go over a couple of things that I think we touched on briefly before, but there's a lot that we didn't touch on. So we are going to dive right into it. So for people who don't know you, can you introduce yourself? Let us know all the fun stuff.
So I'm Michele Riter. I am one of the 3 co-founders of EOC. Me, Janice Pitcher, and Dr. Elias Ortiz, obviously. We are the 3 that founded Elias Ortiz and Company in July of 2019.
Okay. How was EOC born?
I get this question a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a heartstring story for me. I live, obviously, if you've had surgery with us, you've seen that New York address. Everything's happening on the other side of the coast. I know it gets confusing, but here's why. I had a very close cousin of mine who lived in California. Her dad was military. She grew up where I grew up. Her dad moved to California with the military, so she went with him. We always stayed close over the years. As things changed and we grew older, she went to Mexico herself for bariatric surgery. And when she got to Mexico, and we are going back a very long time, when she got to Mexico, nothing was set. There was no structure within Mexico. So when she got home, she thought to herself, I can do this better. I know now what I would have needed if it was mine.
Right.
So way back when she started her own company, Alighter Me was the name of that company, and a lot of you still recognize it, and we have deep respect for that company. So unfortunately, in 2019, Sandy got very sick, and she unexpectedly passed away. Now, I, at that point, had already been working for Sandy. So I was working with the company. I knew so much about the company. I had learned so much from Sandy, going through everything with her and her expansion, and really everything. Dr. Ortiz was actually her second surgeon, but he was brand new when he started with Sandy. So Dr. Ortiz and I kind of started right around the same time with Sandy. When she unexpectedly passed away, with nothing, with no preface as to what was going to happen with her company. And we were stuck. Janice obviously worked for Sandy a little bit longer than I did. Dr. Ortiz was still there. So the 3 of us got together and said, what are we going to do? Like, do we try to just continue this way? What are the legalities behind it? We talked to a few attorneys, and the reality was it just made more sense to start fresh.
Right.
So that's what happened. That's where the brainstorming came up, and me, Dr. Ortiz, and Janice met and decided that we would just continue his mission. This was Dr. Ortiz. This was something that he wanted from day one. He was so devoted to this practice because, remember, he chose it. He went in as a general surgeon, but he chose bariatrics. It's the field that he wanted to continue. So when all of this happened, he obviously wanted to continue, and it made sense for him to have his names on the doors. He was up and coming. He was not as big as he is today. He was still new. He hadn't been, Sandy hadn't had the company that long with him before she passed away. So he was still up and growing and learning. And we thought, we can do this. Let's just do it. Let's just open EOC and continue the journey that Dr. Ortiz started with Sandy back when he first started as a bariatric surgeon. And that's how EOC was born.
That's incredible. And do it you guys bloody did, because look at where EOC is today. It's gone from just being, that bariatric company. It's now, plastics and dental and all sorts of things. So it's huge. But so can you explain to people at home that are, just hearing about medical tourism for the first time, how are we different? Because we're a hybrid company. So it's like US and Mexico. So can you explain the kind of that breakdown?
I can. And it's funny because, again, it all will tie into what I learned going through this. When you are an international company, there's more legalities involved. There's a lot more legalities involved. So there's money going back and forth across the border, obviously. And I didn't have a clue. I knew based on the workings with the attorneys and the accountants with Sandy that the way it was run wasn't the way to protect yourself the best way. So I knew that
Mm,
going into it. And that was a conversation that I had with Janice and Dr. Ortiz. Listen, if we're going to do this, we need the protection across the board for this company. Okay. So this company has to have protection. So God forbid anything happens, we don't end up in the same situation.
mhm.
Um, so we got some really great lawyers on board. Dr. Ortiz found a great lawyer in Mexico. I got a great team of lawyers here in New York, and we worked together and we figured out the best legal way to do it and protect everybody, protect Mexico, protect the United States. IRS is involved, Mexico MSS is involved. There's so much involved, and we didn't care what it took. We didn't care the money that it was going to take us to make us legal, but we made the decision from day one that we were going to do everything we could to make EOC legal, and we did it. And
Mhm.
I am very proud to say that EOC, as far as I know, and I've been involved a long time, as far as I know, EOC is the only company that does what we do.
Mhm.
So we say we're hybrid, and what that means is we have a legal registered company in New York where everything is reported. We also have a legal registered company in Tijuana where everything is reported. Doctors are not just getting walked across the border and putting money in their pocket. We are doing everything the legal way. We get paychecks, we get W-2s, we get vacation time. We are a regular, normal company, just like the ones you guys work with at home. Um, the best part about it is what ties us together is a service agreement. So basically, the company in the US works with the company in Mexico. They invoice us and we send the money to Mexico to pay the bills. So that's the basic, easy part of it. Everything is done legally. Every penny is reported. We're going to get into it later, but I
Mhm.
know there's some reports out there that we launder money and we send money illegally to Mexico. Trust me when I tell you the amount of money that flows, we're not getting away with it if we're trying to do this illegally. I will very happily show my tax returns. Janice and Dr. Ortiz will very happily show our tax returns. When I tell you we are the legalist company that does medical tourism, I will put my heart on that.
There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
There you go.
Right. But I love that also because, the majority of the patients are coming from either the US or Canada. And so when they do start the process of the EOC, they get paired up with a coordinator that lives and works within the USA. So I think a lot of people think, oh, this is going to be really tricky because I don't speak Spanish. But it's like, oh, no, girl, guy, whatever, you've got an American coordinator or an Aussie if you draw the short straw, who legally lives and works in the USA. So it's kind of cool. And the good thing about the coordinators is they're all past patients. So they know exactly firsthand how, it's a well-oiled machine and how it works and the emotion behind, what goes into having this surgery. So that's really cool. Okay, so now you have definitely got the brains. So what is your role in the company?
So what I like to say is kind of twofold. Dr. Ortiz is in charge of Mexico. I make zero medical decisions. Dr. Ortiz makes everything. If someone wants to do something medical, the answer is always check with Dr. Ortiz.
Mhm.
He handles Mexico. He handles the drivers. He handles the nurses. He handles the hospital. Dr. Ortiz is the do all, say all when it comes to Mexico. Don't tell him this, but he's the do all, say all of the company. We just let him pretend he's not. For me, I like to consider myself like the head of human resources of the company.
Mhm.
It's kind of the best way to explain what I do. I do all of human resources. I do all of payroll. Anything in your own company, if you look at your entire payroll, human resources department in the companies that you work for, I basically do all of that. I handle FMLA for my own people.
Mm,
I handle it on the employer side. All right. I also handle it on the employee side. So I double trained to get that knowledge for our patients.
mhm,
All of payroll, all of we got, we getting our EOC babies now. We've been around
mhm,
long enough. We have our first EOC baby. We got 2 more EOC babies coming
mhm,
on the employee side. So we have to get through all of that. I do disability for our own people. I do FMLA for our own people. Anything that you go to your human resources or payroll office in your own company, that's what I do for EOC.
nice. And so you are well versed in, human resources. So Let's touch on the FMLA side of things. Can you explain what it is for people who actually don't even know? Because I'm going to be honest, being an Aussie, I didn't even. I'm like, what's FMLA? But can you explain what it is? And yeah, let's start there.
Yeah. So, um, the broader term of the whole thing is medical leave. Medical leave. So when you're going out for anything medical, you're taking a medical leave. Now, there's different forms of medical leave. The one that we guarantee our patients is the FMLA. So that's the Family Medical Leave Act. Basically, what that act says is there's a list of qualifying conditions. If you have one of these, you are entitled to up to 12 weeks a year medical leave off, and your job is protected. It is unpaid leave, but they cannot do anything against you for taking that leave.
Mm,
Okay, and they cannot take your job away from you. You're guaranteed your job when you get back, not a job, your job, and you get that for 12 weeks every year.
nice.
All right, so that's the one that's guaranteed. The other types of leave are the biggest one is STDs, short term disability.
Hmm.
So that's a different type of leave where they pay disability. Now, that's a state program. So, depending on the company you work for, depending on the state you live in, it's all going to be different. Not
Hmm.
everyone's going to qualify for that. Some will and some will not. Here in New York State, we get New York State disability. It's kind of before I started doing this for other states, I thought everybody had short-term disability.
Mm.
I didn't realize that there were states that didn't even have it, that had no program. I was very shocked
Ah,
by that, because we're just guaranteed our short-term disability here in New York. It's really weird.
right.
But other states don't. So that was a big learning curve for me too, because I had to learn all these other states, which was kind
Hmm.
of hard to do. Figure out which ones there were, what they required, who qualified, who didn't qualify, all the insurance codes that go with all of this. All of that has to be included when you're looking for medical leave. But the FMLA is the big one.
Hmm.
And the biggest issue we have with FMLA is, unfortunately, people that are hiring into these programs. Yes, it's funny because I remember back in the day in other careers that I've had, human resources used to be so tough. Like
Mm.
your human resources rep, somebody's got to remember this with me. Like your human resources rep, wasn't she like the librarian in 6th grade? Like you were afraid of her
Yeah.
because she was so stern.
Uh-huh.
That's what I remember human resources people
Mhm.
being like. They knew every rule and there was no they were like an attorney. They knew exactly
Mhm.
what they had to do and they did it and there was no question. And nowadays it just seems like anybody can work in human resources,
Mm.
which is a complete disservice to their employees.
Right.
All right. So daily, I literally was just dealing with it before I got on here. Daily, I get emails from patients who say I've been denied FMLA or they need more information for FMLA. And I always say the same thing. Listen, you qualify based on hospitalization. If you are in the hospital, I don't care if you went to the hospital because you lost your eyelashes and it burned, okay? If they admitted you in the hospital and you spent a night in the hospital, you are entitled to FMLA,
Mhm.
period. Point blank, end of story. They cannot fight you on that.
Mm.
The issue is you have to advocate for yourself.
Mm.
Do not let these HR people tell you the rules. Know the rules yourself and advocate. And I'm telling you, 100% my information is correct. You qualify based on hospitalization, period. And here's the advice that I give everybody who calls me and says, but they won't budge and I'm denied. What you say to that person is very simple. Either you approve my leave by end of day today, or I'm going to call the Department of Labor and I'm going to file a complaint against you personally and this company. And I may consider calling a labor attorney. And I guarantee you, if you use those words, you will be approved by the end of the day because they will immediately go to their supervisor and their supervisor will say to them, well, she's right.
Mm.
They do qualify if they're hospitalized. And
Right.
everybody that I have given that information to that has just said thank you and done it, I get an email back that says, you're right, I'm approved.
Nice.
But you have to advocate.
Right. If they're hospitalized in Mexico, they still qualify?
Yep. It
Ah,
does not matter who
nice.
your surgeon is. It does not matter where your surgery was. If you are hospitalized, it is as black and white as it can be.
Nice.
If you are hospitalized for any reason, the hospitalization and any subsequent time off needed for that hospitalization is covered.
Mm.
It cannot be any more clear under FMLA law.
Amazing. And so, what kind of paperwork do they need from do they contact you or how does that work?
Yeah, so the paperwork, we do not supply paperwork. So
Mhm.
paperwork comes from your HR office. Now,
Okay.
I do have a lot of people that, like I said, the HR office is like, "Well, we don't supply that." You kinda have to, but there is a universal form that the federal government has put out. It's the WH 380, I believe, but if you just Google, standard FMLA form, you'll get it.
Mhm.
The other part is they're required by law to accept that form.
Mm.
If they don't have their own forms and they tell you they don't have them and you submit that form, they're required by law to accept it. They can't tell you no.
Here you go, guys. So, if you're thinking about having surgery in Mexico, you do qualify for FMLA.
Now, I will add one more thing.
Mhm.
You do have to actually qualify for FMLA. So what that means
Mm.
is the company you work for has to have 50 or more employees.
Mhm.
Okay? Any company in the United States that has 50 or more employees is required by law to offer FMLA.
Mhm.
You gotta be a full-time employee that worked a minimum of 1,500 hours. I believe it is a 6-month period. I could be wrong, but there's a certain amount of time that you've had to work to qualify. So you can't start your job and then think next week you're gonna take FMLA. You're not qualified for it yet. Okay?
Mhm.
So you have to meet those qualifications in order to be qualified. Now, once you're qualified for it, then you submit your paperwork and you will be approved. You just might have to fight it out a little bit depending on how your HR office is.
Gotcha. So I took to Facebook to ask the patients if they have any questions. And so I've got a couple people wanting to know, because we do get Canadians, right? So
Yes, we
is
do.
it different in Canada? And what should Canadians do? How do they go about navigating requesting time off for procedures, weight loss, and plastics? And what can the employees say and ask? Is it kind of the same?
It's not, it's
Ah.
not. There is no FMLA per se in Canada. FMLA is a United States thing. Canada does have a program. Canada is very different in that it's the provinces in Canada
Mm.
all run it differently, which is kind of weird.
How confusing for you though.
Oh,
Jeez.
it
Like
is.
a
It's a lot.
Rolodex.
Canada's a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes,
Wow.
and then we also have a lot of people from NASA, and they actually have
Mm.
their own version of it too, which is a lot.
Wow.
Um, those are the 3 big ones that I get. But Canada, their paperwork, once they send it, is very standard, very simple, very easy, doesn't seem to have any problems. My only issue that I have with Canada is I'm not 100% versed on the law of Canada.
Mm.
And it's very hard for me in America. See, where I am, we have ADP as our payroll human resources contractor that we work directly with. So it was very easy for me to do trainings directly through them. So for me and my trainings, I was able to get US training very easily. I
Mm.
have not found somewhere where I can get Canadian training, which is very hard.
Right.
Um, and I can research it, but the reality is, you know, what half the stuff you read on the internet's not true, you know? So
Right.
you wanna be with somebody that you know the information that you're getting is correct. So I try very hard with Canada to say, I hate to say it, but you do have to check with your HR
Mm.
office. I do know that I filled out paperwork before. I do know the type of paperwork I have filled out. I do know that patients in Canada are qualified for this leave, but unfortunately, I can't give you the full information. I am still trying to find some type of Canadian
Mhm.
training that I can do on both ends of the spectrum here, and hopefully I can find it soon, which would be great for everybody. But for right now, your human resources offices are the best place to start. They don't seem to be as bad as the
Mm.
US. That's the other good part
Okay, well,
about it.
that's good, yeah.
I never get pushback from Canadian patients and their HR offices. Whatever paperwork they send, I fill it out, and I don't get the pushback that I get from the US side. So whatever they have there, it seems to be the training is really good, and their human resources people are still those, old-time librarians that know exactly what they're doing.
Nice, yeah, old school. And so with our packages, companions that come along, it's included
Yes.
in the cost and, like, for let's say for plastics is you need quite a bit of help. So do spouses or companions qualify for FMLA if they're taking care of you?
Companions do not.
Okay.
Spouses do. Yes,
Mm.
if you are married and you are traveling with your spouse to Mexico for either weight loss or bariatric,
Mhm.
we will fill out your paperwork for your spouse for the time that he or she is with you in Mexico for the surgery. Absolutely, we will.
Right, but they're gotta be a married spouse, not just like, "Oh, my sister's taking care of me," type thing.
Correct, because if
Okay.
you look at the FMLA guidelines, it is very specific on their
Mm.
immediate family members, and I don't make the rules, but siblings are not, children are not. A
Gotcha.
parent can go with an 18 or younger child, so it goes the other way. Then they would qualify, but a 34-year-old child, if their mom wants to come with them,
Mm.
that is not considered an immediate family member by FMLA guidelines.
Gotcha. Well, that's so good to know. I had no idea about all of this. I'm, like, learning so much.
It's a
Um,
lot. It's a lot.
it is a lot. And then I think we had someone else wanted to know, how can I apply for STD, so short-term disability, for time off? Is it the same sort of thing?
So it is kind of the same thing. Nowadays, most companies handle the time off, that medical leave right within their HR office, but nowadays it seems more and more outsourcing.
Mhm.
So what that means is there's big companies that now handle short-term disability and FMLA for a whole bunch of companies. So some of the big ones would be like a Sedgwick, Unum, they handle it. So you can go to your HR office and say, I'm having surgery, I need to apply, and they'll give you the website, and you go right to that website, you fill out the paperwork, and it's all handled outsourced through somebody else. So again, human resources not really doing it. They send it to somebody else. It's not an issue at all.
Okay.
Just go and do what you have to do with them. Generally, when it's an outsourced company, it's all done online. So all your information that you need is in your patient contract. You're going to go online, fill out the application. I'm having surgery. This is my company. Our name, our email address, our phone number, our fax number, your doctor's number, your surgery date. All of that information that you're going to need is in your patient contract. You start the process that you're applying for, and then what they do is either mail or email me or fax a copy of the application directly to me.
Mhm.
Once I get that application, I immediately reach out to you to let you know that I got the application and want to know what your plans are. When do you plan on getting out of work? When do you plan on going back to work? And I will get that back. I will get that all completed. If the paperwork is sent to me directly, I will send you a copy, but I will also send it back to that third-party source for you. I'll fax it right back for them so that it's all taken care of. I will also follow up with anything that comes to me. So let's say you apply for short-term disability. Sometimes they will send us an updated, is this still accurate? I will fill it out and send it back. I don't notify you because I feel like you got enough going on with surgery. Do you really need to know that I'm on top of it? I am, trust me. Paperwork does not sit on my desk more than 24 hours. Even
Mhm.
when I'm not at my desk, I promise you that paperwork is done and out.
Mhm. I've seen Michelle on a boat in the water with her phone. So, like, nothing is
I
left
literally
behind.
have perfected doing almost every part of my job on my phone because I refuse to make people wait.
Yeah.
I work every single day from a computer. I joke all the time that I have not had a day off from this job in 14 or 15 years. And
Mm.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
There has not been a day in the last 15 years that I
Mhm.
have walked away. Even when I had my gallbladder out, and then I worked that morning. I had my gallbladder out and I worked that night. There is not a day that I did not work this job.
Mhm.
And there never will be.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's what I owe to my patients. I don't think they should be waiting, especially for something as important as their pay while they're out, or their confidence in knowing that their job is secure while they're out, or even just the questions that I get, which are sometimes a little bit more escalated than a coordinator
Mm.
question.
Mhm.
I think they deserve that answer as quick as possible. It's the type of person that I am. I can't have a scroll bar in my inbox. It makes me crazy. If I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I have a scroll bar, I'm telling you, I get out of bed, I go in my office, and I will start answering emails because that's my OCD issue. I
OCD,
don't
yeah.
have many of them,
Uh-huh.
but that's mine. I can't have a scroll bar in my inbox.
That
So
is
I
so
try
funny.
very hard to get stuff answered as quick as possible.
I reckon you need to talk to your HR person, Michelle.
I do,
We
huh?
need to get you a day off.
Oh, I know. I do
Oh,
need to talk to my HR person.
yeah. I mean, I got her email address if you need it.
Big squishy.
.co.com, 1L.
Haha. What
Um,
else? I can
so, okay, so we got FMLA and short-term disability out of the way. We're gonna just, like, steamroll through some, like, not the boring stuff, but the legality stuff that comes with contracts and having surgery, and then we'll get into some juicy stuff. Okay, so let's
Okay.
steamroll through just like the stuff that everyone kinda needs to know. When they schedule surgery, a deposit is due, correct?
Correct.
How much are those deposits for weight loss and then for plastics?
For weight loss, it's a $100 non-refundable deposit.
Mhm.
For plastic surgery, it's a $750 refundable deposit as long as it's your first consult with us.
Okay, perfect.
For Dr. Espino, yes, for Dr. Espino for our faceless, 750, and that one is also non-refundable though.
That's cool, that makes sense because he's booked out the rear
He's
end.
booked. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a hot topic right now, Dr. Espino.
Ooh, piping hot. Um, Now let's talk about the cancellation policy.
So cancellation is pretty simple.
Mhm,
Cancel within the time frame that's listed in your contract, and it's a full refund unless your deposit was non-refundable.
mhm,
Okay. So if you cancel your surgery, you're going to get your money back. Weight loss is 30 days prior. So if your payment, let's just make it easy. If your surgery is December 30th, your payment is due November 30th. Plastic surgery, it's 60 days. So
mhm,
60 days prior to your surgery date, full payment is due.
mhm.
All right. Cancel before that time and you get a refund. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Can we talk about payment? Like, what are the payment methods?
Pretty straightforward on our payment methods. We bank with Bank of America. Bank of America is one of the banks that has places all over the United States. It's one of the three bigs that are all over the United States. So we went with them to make it as easy as possible. So you can walk into any Bank of America branch and make a deposit right into our account. We take all major credit cards, including Discover and American Express. You can Zelle the money to us. Pretty simple, but your bank has to offer it. So as long as
Mhm,
your bank offers the money, you can send it by Zelle. You can, for final payment, you can bring a cashier's check. So you just go to your bank, get a cashier's check made out to Right Pitch. You can bring that with you on the day of your surgery to make your final payment, or you can send a wire transfer through your local bank.
okay, so there's all many different options. Cash is
No
yeah,
cash.
cash is never
Absolutely
the way.
no
Yeah,
cash.
okay.
Correct.
Perfect, perfect. Now you mentioned, like, making the final payment, so in saying that, can we talk about the layaway plan that we offer?
So we do offer a layaway plan. The layaway plan is pretty simple. It's like an old-fashioned layaway plan. Book your surgery, put down your required deposit, take your surgery date, and then you can pay as much or as little as you want, weekly, daily, monthly, however you want to pay it. $50, 5,000, we don't care, as long as you meet the final payment requirement date. So for class 6, it would be 60 days. For weight loss, it would be 30 days. Paid in full on time, and then you're good to go. It's pretty simple. Now, I will tell you though, um, what was happening was we were getting a lot of people who were booking plastics, especially plastics.
Mhm.
They would book it, they would hold their date for a year longer, and they would send us $50 payment, $50 payment, $50, and and it was constant. And then 60 days before their surgery, they would cancel.
Oof.
So what we decided to do was we are more than happy to do all that extra work. We are more than happy. We have plastics patients, I kid you not, who have paid 100 to 150 times, and we processed every single one of those payments, and we have absolutely no issue doing that, and we encourage it, and we love it, and whatever we can do to make sure you get the surgery of your choice, we're going to do it for you.
Mhm.
Um, but the refunds started getting out of hand. It was constant refunds, constant, constant, constant. So we just don't want to be your savings account.
Mm,
You know what I mean? We're not a
yep,
Christmas club.
right.
So what we decided was we were going to install with the layaway plan, we were going to do a 20% fee. So the 20% fee only comes into play if you cancel.
Mhm.
So if you start sending money, you are automatically enrolled in that layaway plan. Okay. And then if you choose to cancel, there is going to be a 20% fee on that money
Okay, that
because
makes
the
sense.
coordinator did all of that work.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm,
a lot of work for the coordinator
mhm.
to do it. And it's their job. Don't get me wrong.
Yep,
It is their job and they're happy to do it. But it started to get out of control. It
right,
started to get to a point where they were doing so much work for so many patients and there was just nothing at the end of it. And
right.
then they were scrambling to fill the spot for the doctors
Mhm,
who, they gave up so many other patients that they could have put in that spot. So
mhm.
it just got to be a lot. So we decided that maybe this would be the way to make sure people truly want to book, that, we weren't going to be their Christmas club that they were going to quit 6 months into it.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a, like, almost an accountability thing, it's like, "Okay, well, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it," type thing. So if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing
right,
it, you're
right. We
doing it.
want you to be sure you're doing it for everybody,
Yeah,
for you, for the coordinators, for
for
the
the doctor.
surgeons,
Mhm.
yeah, for all the hotel and the hospital. There's a
Mm,
lot that goes into booking these surgeries.
yep.
So we want everybody to be sure that they're on the same page, that this is something they're really going to do and they're going to follow through with.
Right.
And it seems to have worked. It honestly
Oh,
has
good.
seemed to have worked.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So if someone is, like, getting close to having their surgery paid off and it's, like, actually ahead of time, can they change their bring their surgery date forward and vice versa? Like if they're like, I'm getting closer to that date and it's within that cancellation window, can they like, you know what, Nicole, Haley, whoever it may be, their coordinator, can I push it back a little bit more? Can that happen?
So pushing it forward, absolutely. If you're paid off and you want to go forward, absolutely go forward. If you are close to paying it or you're not close to paying it off at your 60-day mark, move it. Don't wait, because it's 60 days, you're not going to face a penalty.
Gotcha. That makes
Okay,
sense.
it's 61 days, so you're not going to face a penalty. Do it before you're under the cancellation policy. Once you're under that cancellation policy, you're going to pay a cancel fee, and there's no reason. You will know your own finances. Okay, you will. I know whether or not I can come up with $2,000 by January 3rd. Right. Know your finances and have a come to Jesus talk with yourself and say, I'm never going to do it. I know that I probably could if I stopped going out, but I'm not going to go out. I know I could do it if I didn't go on that vacation, but I'm going to go on that vacation. Right. Just take accountability. 60 days prior for plastics, 30 for weight loss. Just make the call your coordinator. It's not a big deal. We truly want you to have surgery. We don't want it to come a situation where you're ignoring us and we don't know what's going on.
Right.
We're cool with you canceling. If you can't financially do it, you just can't. And we're cool with that. Just be upfront and honest with your coordinator. We will make it work. Do it before that cancellation date, though, please.
Yes. Yeah, that's really good advice. And so we talked about layaway plan, but is there a finance option?
So United Credit is who we work with for financing. It's tough. And I know if you read it on the page, if you search it in our support group, you get a lot of bad things about United. And they're not a bad company. They offer a terrible product. When you're buying a terrible product, the company is always going to look bad.
Right.
And when I say buy a terrible product, a medical loan is the highest defaulted loan in the world. So what that means is the loan that doesn't get paid back the most in the world is a medical loan. It's an unsecured loan. They can't come take your boobs back if you had plastic surgery and you chose not to pay it. So because of that, they have to take into account the default rate being so high, everyone else has to pay more. Gotcha. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in business. So they do look for people that have a better than average credit score. And they are going to charge you some pretty hefty fees. And that's the reason for it, is because their default rate is so high.
Gotcha. So would you recommend people getting maybe a personal loan? Can you do that?
I always say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Personal loans are going to be, if you have a relationship with your bank, always start with your bank first. Banks nowadays are still pretty good. When you have that relationship with your banker, go in and talk to them and tell them that you want a personal loan. Your interest rates are still going to be high, but they're not going to be as high, especially if you have a good relationship with them. The other option you have is to check with your HR office, see if you can take an advancement on your 401k or your health savings. Yeah, something like that is sometimes very much available to you. 401ks, my personal opinion is, if you can take one out of your 401k, or, if your husband has like a SEP account or an IRA or whatever type of retirement account you and your husband or whoever, you have in your family structure, check with them first. And the reason I say that is because, generally speaking, when you repay that loan, you repay it with interest, but you get the interest back to yourself. So you're repaying yourself. So you're kind of like your own bank. Okay. So you're not wasting that interest money. You're just putting it back into that account. You repay yourself the interest. So retirement accounts are always going to be my first place to go. Check with your retirement account, see if you can take a loan out of there and then make that repayment right back to yourself with interest. So yeah, personal bank would always be the second option. Medical loans, honestly, last option. You absolutely want this and you absolutely can't do it any other way, then yes, consider a medical loan, but know going into it that it's a crappy product sold by a good company. United's a great company, but they're just selling a crappy product.
Gotcha. Michelle, you're not just a pretty face, are you?
I tried.
So I get this question a lot in the comments for social media. Do we take care credit?
I wish.
Right.
It's not that we don't take it. We'll take anything.
Right.
Care credit still does not offer a product that can be used outside of the U.S.
Gotcha.
I do know that there are 2 programs for care credit. One program is where you're in their network and you have an open account with them and you go to, Dr. Smith and they send Dr. Smith the payment for you and you're good to go. We can't do that.
Mhm.
They also offer a second program where you qualify for a credit card.
Mhm.
Harder to qualify for that program, but you get to use that credit card. Like if you go to the dentist, if you, go to the eye doctor, you can use that credit card for medical expenses. Because we're that hybrid company and we are licensed and registered in New York, if you have that program and you have that Care Credit credit card, you can use it because
Ooh,
you're charging in the US.
nice. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not a solid no, it's just a if
No, it's not
yeah.
a solid no.
Ah,
It's not. But
good.
the Care Credit credit card is the harder
Harder one
program
to
to qualify for.
qualify for.
More people will qualify for the direct to consumer,
Gotcha.
where they pay the doctor directly. More people will qualify for that program. But if you
Uh-huh.
got decent credit, Care Credit interest rates are a little much lower than medical loans.
Mhm.
Could be lower than a personal loan,
Yeah.
depending on your credit history. So yeah, Care Credit, if you can get your hands on that credit card, then absolutely you can use that.
There you go. Because I heard that they also, I don't know if it's for everybody, but sometimes they do like a 12-month interest-free type credit card
They do.
too.
Mhm,
Ah,
mhm.
there you go. If you
Yeah.
got good credit,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
a way to do it. Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay,
So,
now
because though, when you're
mhm,
talking about plastics,
mhm,
I do have the financial background, so finances I always get, like, nervous with these, special intro rate, da, da, da.
mm,
Um, if you're talking about plastics and you're talking about getting a Care Credit and charging 15,000 and thinking, "It's a year, I don't have," it's interest-free for a year, remember that at the end of that year,
mhm.
if you are not paid in full, it's retroactive, so your interest is gonna go back to day one, so you're not gonna save a penny. You're gonna pay all that
Oh,
money and it's gonna get tacked on. So be very careful when you're dealing with any type of credit card that says
mhm,
interest-free for a year.
mhm,
It is a year, but you have to have that balance paid off, all right?
mhm,
And they do tricky things with, like you put that big you pay off 12 credit cards, you know what I mean? And then
mhm,
you anything else that you put on it is also going to affect it. You
mhm,
gotta pay off that credit card balance first before that interest gets tacked back on.
mm.
So be very careful, be very cautious if you're looking at credit cards when they say no interest for 12 months. Um, unless you really are getting that card paid off in 12 months, it's
Right.
gonna cost you.
Ah, good to know, good to know. Okay, now last boring question. No, I'm not saying these are boring. These are actually fantastic, like, info to have. This is all really good info to have. Now, with plastics, we offer for the consultation, right? So you need to be 10 months post-op from weight loss surgery. You need to have a BMI of 31 or below. But we've pretty recently just incorporated an early consult. So can you just quickly touch on that for us?
Yeah, so we call it our high BMI consults. So if you are 31 or above and you still want to what prompted it is a lot of people would say you're booking in a year and in a
Mhm.
year I know I'm going to be at
Yeah.
that weight,
Mhm.
but then if I book then I'm a year out. So now I'm talking 2 years before I get there. Why can't I just do it
Uh-huh.
now so in a year I have it? So we thought, okay, again, let's figure this out to protect everybody because you're taking a big responsibility by saying, I promise you, I am going to be under 31 BMI by the date that you give me. All right. And if you're willing to say it, we're willing to do it for you.
Mhm.
So we will do the early consult for you above a 31. The doctor will do the consult as best he could, knowing that you are going to change because you have to lose that weight. 30 days or I'm sorry, 60 days prior to that, when your final payment is due, we're going to ask you for a second consult. So we're
Mhm.
going to check your weight and he will reconsult because at that point, things are going to change. You're going to have more loose skin. You're going to be a little bit more droopy. Things are going to change. So we'll do a second consult for you. We do charge $100 for that second consult because it is a full blown second consult. All right.
Mhm.
So to do this though, we are saying we will commit to you, but you also need to commit to us.
Mhm.
We are increasing the deposit to $3,000 and it will be non-refundable.
Mhm.
That's your incentive to do what you need to do to have your surgery on that date. If you are truly committed and you truly believe that you are going to do everything you need to do to get to your BMI to have your surgery on that day, it's not going to be an issue. The 3,000 will be applied to your final payment. You'll make your final payment 60 days prior and it's the same
Mhm.
thing. You're not out more money.
Mhm. Yeah, it comes off
The
your
only
balance.
thing we need is that commitment from you, right?
Mhm.
So it's all on you. If
Yep.
you don't want to lose money, commit to it.
Yep.
If you if you're wishy-washy and you're not quite sure you're going to get to that BMI, don't do it.
Yep.
because you will lose that deposit and there's
Mhm.
no reason for it.
Mhm.
You could have waited. You weren't going to have that surgery anyway.
Mhm.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Mhm.
So your commitment level has to be high enough to risk that deposit.
Yep. That makes
But
sense.
we're
So
willing to let you have it if you want it.
yeah, so if you know definitely you want this surgery, go ahead. But I think some people are like, "Well, I just kinda need to know how much it's gonna cost." Well, for plastics, we have the pricing listed in the features
It's
tab.
everywhere.
Yeah, there's a million
Yeah.
different combos you can get with plastic, so it's hard to pinpoint, the exact cost, but there is a rough price list of, like, all the different combos. So, just if you just kind of, like, need a ballpark figure, I would recommend just checking that out first. But if you know you want this surgery and you're not waiting another year, go ahead and do that early consult.
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool, cool. Speaking of Facebook, we we're getting it all day, every day. Those spam posts saying that we're hiring. Can you talk about
How
that real quick? So
annoying. I just
annoying.
ugh.
Mm,
And it's so frustrating to me
mm.
because I the very first one I saw, I personally was like, "This is so obviously fake." And I'm just amazed at how many people don't realize it's obviously fake, especially now.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going on, what, 9 months now that they post 2, 3, 4 times a
a
day?
day. Mhm,
And I still, every single day, I get a PM.
mhm.
I saw a post and I can't find it now. What do I do to apply?
How do
And
I
I'm
apply?
like,
Is
we're
this
not
real?
hiring.
Right.
I would love, love, love to be able to hire. I mean,
Mm,
I did 10 more doctors and 10 more coordinators if
mhm.
I could.
Yep.
Um, Plastic surgeons, we're always looking for a good plastic
Mhm,
surgeon, and
mhm.
if we find one, Dr. Lazos, my eyes in Mexico, if he finds a surgeon that he thinks fits his criteria to be on this team, 100% we're gonna add them. Same with Dr. Ortiz, he is the
Mhm,
one that handles all of the weight loss side, all of the doctors.
mhm.
If we add more people, I would be thrilled to hire, and
Yep.
I will be the first one to scream from the rooftops that we are hiring, but
Right.
it's gotta come from me. If it doesn't come from me, we're not hiring.
There you go, you guys.
Even
So
if Dr. T says it, guys,
yeah.
we ain't hiring.
Unless it comes from Michelle and
Unless
she's
it
the one
comes from
posting.
me.
It is
Right, we
spam.
are not hiring.
Do not
Yes.
give these people your information because they're asking for stuff. They're asking for numbers and emails and yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Guys, please don't
Yeah.
do it. If it's not me, don't do it.
Yeah. So now that you've said we're not hiring and those are spam posts, when we do hire, how do people get in? Get in with EOC.
Yeah, it's really hard, right?
It is.
Um,
Gotta be grandfathered in.
how do you get in?
Mm.
So there's not really a way. There's
Yeah.
not one way to get in. I
Mhm.
will tell you that there are levels to what we do.
Yep.
All right. There's things in the background that a lot of people don't even see. A lot of
Mhm.
people you do see it, like Tracy, our girl Tracy,
Mhm.
right? In
Mhm.
the Facebook group. We love Tracy. And a lot of the people that we hired were Tracy before Tracy, believe it or not.
Mhm.
So our moderators that are all over our Facebook page. Guys, you see how often we're in our Facebook page, all right? As often as you see us at our Facebook page, we're in there twice amount of time.
Mm.
We see everything. We see all the people that are answering the questions.
Mhm.
We see all the people that are answering the right questions, answering them the correct
Correct
way.
way.
We
Mhm.
see it all. All right. And I will say that if the skies opened up right now and they said to me, we need 3 more coordinators and we need them by Monday, I can give you 3 names off the top of my head who I'm going to message myself and say,
Mhm.
"Saw what you posted in the group. Do you wanna chat?"
Mhm.
Okay? I see it.
Mhm.
Um, Number 1, you have got to be a past patient of ours. I am
Mhm.
not gonna hire somebody who's not a past patient of ours. You need to have been in Tijuana. You need to have experienced my staff. The staff in Tijuana is the heart and soul of this company, and if you have not experienced that, you truly cannot sell EOC.
Right.
And
Right.
I believe that with all my
Yeah.
heart. I love my coordinators, and I think my coordinators are amazing at what they do, and they all know it. But the heart and soul of this company is in Tijuana,
Yep.
hands down.
Hands down.
And if you haven't experienced it, you can't work for this company.
If you sent your info to one of those spam posts, you're automatically disqualified.
95% of our job is online, and
Right.
if you can't
Figure that out.
recognize a
Yeah.
spam post, yeah. I mean, really, we were just
Yeah.
our emails were just hacked recently.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
my coordinators will tell you, I am on them. If I see one of them click a link in an email, I lose my mind. I really do. My
We're
son's
about
a
to be
cybersecurity
hiring.
expert. Yeah. You guys better run if I find out you're clicking links in those emails. I got a lot to protect here. Got boob pics, No
Right.
kidding.
Yes, seriously. So speaking of seeing everything, let's get down to
Mhm.
business. You see everything.
I see everything.
Yeah.
I see when you're in a white bikini sipping your martini in your bubble bath. I see it all.
So, in saying that, with EOC being as big as it is and, have had so much growth pretty fast too, with the good comes the bad, and I think when you get the bad, you kind of made it, because no one's really coming after someone that's not doing really, really well. So, we got some haters, Michelle. EOC's got
We do.
haters.
I do.
What's
And
going
I
on?
gotta say, I go to sleep every single night thinking, how does it feel
Mm,
to live rent free in their heads
mm,
every day?
yeah.
How does it feel to know that they spend hours a day
Ow.
trying to destroy the company that we built
Mm.
while I'm watching the bank account climb? You know how it feels? Hysterically good. It feels hysterically good. It really
Right.
does. I know what I've done to
Mhm,
make sure this company is as legit as it is.
mhm,
So while you are trying to tell people that I'm not legit and I'm laundering money,
mhm.
and you're calling all these people and trying to tell people that you have meetings with these bigwigs in Mexico and you're going to shut me down, you're not. You're not. Okay. My attorneys have protected my rear end from day one.
Mhm,
And Dr. Ortiz's attorneys in Mexico have protected his rear end from day one.
mhm,
And it's not protection that we need, it's protection from you people.
mhm.
Let me be very clear.
Right, yeah.
You haters that want to try to trash our name is who we need the protection
Mhm,
from. Not from ourselves,
yep.
because we're doing it.
Mhm,
Dr. Ortiz is an amazing surgeon without protection. He
mhm,
doesn't need it.
mhm,
He does everything that he does because he's just a great doctor.
mhm,
This company does everything that they do because we're just a great company. But we need to have our lawyers to protect us from your lies
mhm.
and your slander. And
Mm,
that's the bottom line.
that's the thing, the
Can we have
slander.
lawsuits? Yeah, this thing. Everyone's,
It's
oh,
crazy.
Michelle's not doing anything because she knows she's wrong. No, Michelle's not doing anything because I don't care.
Right.
I'm not wasting a penny on an attorney bill because I know what we do and
Mhm,
I know the truth.
right.
And I don't care if you want to sit in your bubble bath with your martini and tell lies about this company
Mm,
and tell lies about me and tell the lies about Dr. Teeth. You go right ahead and do what you want to do.
mm,
The 40, 50, 60,000 people that we have helped since we've opened these doors know the truth.
mhm,
They know what EOC is about and they know what Dr. Ortiz is about. We don't care that you want to spread lies.
right.
We don't care that you want to take time out of your day to try to destroy a business, which
Mm.
makes absolutely zero sense to me. I don't have time in my day sometimes to put makeup on my face, okay? How you have time to make all your phone calls and go to all your hater pages and post and post and post and post.
Mm,
Maybe get a life.
maybe.
Maybe find a
Hobby.
hobby.
This is the
Like
hobby.
do something.
This is the
Yeah.
hobby.
I don't like there's a lot of political things going on right now. Maybe join a political side and go to a college campus and try to debate somebody on
Yeah.
this. Do something productive.
Productive.
What you're doing right now is not productive. You're not hurting us. Let me be very, very clear. You are not hurting
Mhm,
EOC.
mhm,
You are not hurting Dr. Ortiz. Our reputation is far bigger than anything you can say in your TikTok in your bubble bath. So
right.
let that live rent free in your
Mhm.
head the next time you try to go to sleep.
Right. So when it comes to the haters, the drama and the gossip that you do see online, I want to say it's like 95, maybe 98% patients that aren't patients. They have never actually
They're not.
experienced
They're
or
not.
they've just kind of,
Yeah.
caught sail in their wind or wind in their sail and they're like, I'm going to go down this train and like why why are people like that?
That's the funnier part. Uh, um, bathtub girl is not our patient. Never was our patient. Never contacted us. Never had a phone conversation with me
Mm,
or any of my coordinators. I didn't even know who she was till she started bashing us. The person that runs the bigger hater page, not our patient.
mm,
Never was our patient. Never
mhm.
contacted us.
Yep.
The people in the page, the big people that respond to every little post, not our patients.
Mm,
I'm happy to talk about them because I'm not breaking any rules. You're not our patient.
right.
If you have nothing better to do in your life than to get mad at the company who put your health first
Mhm.
and denied your surgery,
Yeah.
the problem is you. The
Right.
problem is not the surgeon.
Mhm.
Our surgeons aren't required to take every single patient. They work on a health basis.
Mhm.
They're also not required to tell you why they denied you.
Mhm.
Again, it is for your benefit to not be told. We have been doing this for a very long time. The rules that we put in place, they change to protect our patients. When we first started, we did tell you why you were denied. And we literally got patients who would show up with a different name, a
Mm,
different email, and a different health questionnaire. And the reason they were denied was not on it. And
mhm.
and some of them got through. Believe it or not, some of them got through.
Mm,
So we've learned through the years
mhm.
what the strategies are.
Yep.
Part of it is we're not going to tell you anymore. We are not going to put you at a health risk.
Mhm.
We're not going to do the surgery, but
Mhm.
we're also not going to allow you to put another doctor at risk
Exactly.
by finding a doctor in Mexico or anywhere in the
Anyway.
United States, at home, in Turkey, anywhere. We're not going to give you the ability to harm that doctor
Mhm.
also.
Yeah.
I talk to my doctors and I know how my doctors feel when complications happen. I Dr. Lazos himself has called me from another country
Mhm.
asking me to call and check on a patient that he knew was having complications because
Mhm.
he couldn't get in touch with her because of the time difference.
Mm.
I know how our doctors feel
Mhm.
when they have patients with complications. We're not going to give you the ability to do that on purpose because
Mhm.
you're so desperate for the surgery. Sometimes life just is life
Yeah.
and you have to accept it.
Yeah.
But to try to destroy a company and destroy a doctor's reputation because the answer isn't what you want, it's just not fair to them.
Yeah.
These doctors are so dedicated to what they do.
Mhm.
And when I see the doctors trying to be torn down, or I see the doctors being attacked on other websites and attacked on TikTok,
Mhm.
that's the part that bothers me. And that's when I get a little rude, for lack of a better word. I
Right.
do. I do. Say what you want about me. I have tough skin. Nothing bothers me.
Mm.
Post what you want online. It doesn't bother me. But when I see you try to destroy these doctors
Mhm.
who have dedicated their lives to the fields that they're in,
Mhm.
it bothers me. It bothers me a
Right.
lot.
But I also think it speaks volumes of, like, just the level of care that this company has, because so many surgeons can just say yes to everyone, you know? It's like it's
Yeah.
a revolving door, like, "Yep, yep, yep," just to, like, as a money grab. But, like, no, these surgeons they are particular, and it is because it's your health and your safety. But at the same time, these doctors, it's about, like, the level of care. And the good thing is, it's like our complication rate and mortality rate is, like, there has not been one for plastics, but it's far less than anyone that's just gonna approve everybody for surgery.
I mean, we see it all the time. Someone will post on our plastic support page, just a general post about something, whatever.
Mm.
And they'll say something like, yeah, I had this complication. I was denied at EOC, so I had it somewhere else.
Mhm.
And then they'll go on about what happened and with their I mean, we see it all the time.
Yep. Yeah.
You found a surgeon that would do it. And I mean, maybe good for you, but
Yeah.
that's a slippery slope.
It
It's
is.
very slippery slope.
Yeah, it's like the whole ethics, no one wants blood on their
Yeah.
hands. These doctors, they have
Yeah.
a very clean profile, and they're gonna keep it that way, and that is A-okay. It's for your benefit, for their benefit. So
Yeah.
that's that's basically, where we're gonna end it, Michelle. But thank you so much. You know what? We covered, well, you covered so much ground, and I think, next time people are like, "Hey, I need more info," or like XYZ, and we go, "Well, just go to the features tab. I'm just gonna add this link," and I'll be like, "Everything you need to know is here," on the podcast. If you don't want to read it, just pop it in your ears and listen, because Michelle covered absolutely everything. There should be no excuses. So thank you, Michelle, and we'll catch you guys next week on Bariatrics and Beyond.